Acknowledging her friends there is actually a very sweet moment. I mean, it's not that she has been standoffish up until now, but it's the same time she has not really been open either about the fact that she considers everyone her friends. The fact that she says the same words they said to her is a very nice moment. Although it still does create that situation that the chapter, yes, was a little bit stale for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't that bad. It had a very heartwarming moments in it. This was meant to be more of an emotional impact chapter rather than, well, progressing with the plot. Although technically there was one very big plot. Yes, this is me, the angry anime fan, the despair reviewer. And yes, I am talking about Eden Zero Chapter 65. It seems the new translation is now this new, what other people call real translation. And you know what? I am not happy with that. You may ask yourself, but angry, the previous translation was wrong. And I'm saying, yeah, maybe. But it also was cooler. Had ending credit text at the end and the start of the cover pages and the end pages. Something like that was very strong. It had more impact than the real translation. And besides, I am blaming all the complainers. You guys really, those who complained, you guys really needed to get your stuff together. It was a mistranslation. Get over it. Alright, on to the real chapter. First off, the cover page is extremely adorable. A Pino trying to draw. Granted, the drawing may not be perfect, but I'm not a drawer myself, so I can't draw either. It's very reminiscent of a little kid trying to draw. It's very, very, very adorable. Onto the chapter itself. Homura is still in the morning, but then she hears the battle. Looking at her mentor and remembering the words of her friends, she decides that she must stand, but then she suddenly cannot. At first it may seem like she cannot move because, well, she has just sit there for a very long time. No, it turns out that Garrot's slow act, full power paralyzation, had actually affected her now. Granted, this creates one very minor plot hole. Didn't Shiki also get stunned by that, or did Homura get stunned with it more, therefore the poison is spread, or the paralyzing is spreading to her more than Shiki? I hope it's the latter. I mean, the fact that he whipped Homura more, therefore the paralyzing is more. Because if Shiki gets stunned, then who can save anything? So either way, Garrot appears, being his sadistic self, realizes that he didn't know that it was that Homura was Kurenai's daughter. Of course, looking at her closely, he can see it. But then he does the real, sadistic thing. I mean, Garrot was always the scum of the Heavenly Defenders. There were 3 Heavenly Defenders. Nino were the token good one. He did his duty most of the times, but at the same time he didn't really like it either. But he still did it. And the Lion Man, well, granted, his personality was kind of stale, so it was kind of unknown to know what he really did. But he did it anyway because he considered it was his duty as well. Although there were some implications that maybe he was in love with Kurenai and therefore did everything. Garrot, this one, on the other hand, is just nothing more than a sadistic, hate-sinking villain who obviously does all of this because he enjoys it. And the fact that he even begins to desecrate Valkyrie's corpse by touching it, sitting near it, as well as saying that he only didn't remove the corpse because he had some respect for her. And then he even proceeds to lick Valkyrie's face and then whips her dead head so that the robot head falls off. All of that is extremely difficult to see and extremely, oh my god, you are scum. And the face that Homura shows over there is one very terrifying face. It's a face of pure anger with tears in her eyes. It's that kind of face that Hiro Mishima is very well known to draw when he really shows a character is is angry. But Geralt just keep on mocking Homura, saying that with the thanks to the paralyzing, she cannot move. So Homura uses every single will she has, not to move, but to form her ether gear of Soul Blade, and creates the exact same attack that Valkyrie used when she fought against all those mind creatures. Yes, the ultimate attack, Odin's Strike. Looking at it closely, yes, that attack looks very similar to Bloom and Blotto from Fairy Tail, but that is not a bad thing. As Homura said, she could create more swords if she just had all the time. And yes, now she used all her willpower and the entire power of her ether gear to do it. And also, looking at the swords, they look a little bit different than before. When I look at it in this angle, they almost look like keyblades from Kingdom Hearts, but that is just an unintentional remark. Either way, she fires the ether blades at the warden, who takes the hits, but of course it's not enough to kill him enough as he blocks the blades away and then ties up Homura so she cannot use her ether gear. It then turns out that Homura had one last ace up her sleeve. As Garrett prepares to do, well, what we can only presume is, well, he doesn't get to that part, but when he begins to say that I get to break you, he looks very and ties her up and pushes her head down. That scene looks very reminiscent of a guy who's trying to rape a woman. Although, I mean, it's not unlikely that Gareth has done that before. If I say his name wrong, then it's just because, well, I do not really know it. But, well, yeah, he was always the most scum of the heavily pursuers. So what was Homura's final triumph card? Turns out that attack of Odin's Strike wasn't just a blind, I'm taking you down with everything I have attack. No, she fired most of it actually at Valkyrie's still surviving sword and launched it into the air. Given to the fact that that blade is not connected to Homura's ether gear, that blade still exists. And by holding it, knocking it up in the air with her ether gear, he came running down right through Gareth, and it pierces him. I presume this kills him, although the final shot of him seems to suggest he is in pain more than he is dead. I mean, the most logical thing is he was just pierced by a sword, and you tell me he's not dead after that? And if you ask me, if he's dead, that's all too good. He was a scoundrel. As Homer put it, you deserve to fall by my master's blade, or my judge by my master's blade. So well, and then Rebecca and Weiss gets to her, as Weiss looks at the scene with sadness, as well as the head detached. Rebecca unties Homura as well. Gareth seems to still be alive despite being pierced. Maybe he was durability. Either way, but the most golden moment of this chapter is the fact that even though she says she was saved by her master, she says more that she was saved by Shiki and Rebecca, because it's thanks to her words that she is able to move on. As she gives a sad but very warm smile, she says, it's because of you, all my friends, that I was able to stand up and move on. Now I continue to move on, because I have all of you. For the first time ever, Homer deeply acknowledges that these are her friends. It's not that she has denied that they are friends before, but when Shiki said she was a friend when she got on the ship the first time, she was a little bit awkward to that moment. So the fact that she says that they are all her friends now, it's a very sweet moment. This review may have been very long, but what really happened wasn't really that much. The biggest thing that happened is Homura is finally back. Yes, she is still in pain, but she also knows that there is a way now for her to move forward. So she will stand up and do just that. It was very satisfying to see that annoying warden being pierced by Valkyrie's blade, because after all he was scum. Now all the heavenly punishers is gone. The one who is left is Kurenai. However, with Homura still paralyzed, is she even gonna join the fight? Now when I think about it, maybe everyone will join the fight. Wise, Rebecca, and Homura maybe will join the fight together with Shiki fighting against Kurenai. That could be awesome. However, again, there is still the problem with Eden Zero. We still haven't gone back to that. Something tells me we're gonna see that in a Despair flashback. And if you ask me, I would rather not see it in a Despair flashback, because we all know they're gonna lose anyway. So give me your thoughts if you have any.